Yesterday we started learning about measuring. Today we're going to go ahead and do the next lesson. You're going to need your math paper that looks like this. It has 12-1 at the top. It's got the pink alien guy on the front. So if you don't have that, go ahead and get it ready, and then we'll get started, okay? This is our math movie for today that's going to tell us about comparing objects, talking about which things are longer and which things are shorter.
Look at the worms. Are these worms the same length or different lengths? They are different lengths. You can put the worms in order from longest to shortest. What does the word longest mean? It means having the greatest length.
We talked about this yesterday, how longest means that it goes out the farthest. If we're going from side to side, we make sure that they are all lined up at this end. So all of the worm behinds or worm tails are starting at the same spot. Then we can look out this way and see where their heads are, and which one goes out the furthest is the longest.
What does the word shortest mean? It means having the least length.
So shortest is the opposite of longest. So we would be looking for the one that is the least length. Least means smallest in math terms.
Let's compare the worms two at a time. Look at the red worm and the yellow worm. Which is longer? The yellow worm is longer. So the red worm can't be longest, but the yellow worm might be. Now compare the yellow worm to the blue worm. Which is longer? The yellow worm is longer. The yellow worm is longer than the red worm and the blue worm. So the yellow worm is the longest. Does having the ends of the worms lined up help you find which is longest? Yes, it helps you to find the longest worm. Why does having the ends of the worms lined up help you find the longest? When one end is lined up, you can look at the other end to see which is longer. Look at the red worm and the blue worm. Which one is shorter? The red worm is shorter. So, the red worm is the shortest. Why don't you have to compare the red worm to the yellow worm this time to know that the red worm is the shortest? You already know that the yellow worm is longest, so you know that the red worm is shorter than the yellow worm. What are the colors of worms in order from longest to shortest? They are yellow, blue, and red. What are the colors of worms in order from shortest to longest? They are red, blue, and yellow. You have learned how to order the length of objects from longest to shortest.
Okay, so go ahead and get your math paper, the one that I showed you earlier with our pink alien guy up on the front. And they wanted us to find 3 things to measure. So I have 3 things, 3 different pencils that I got out here. And we're going to go ahead and try to measure them by putting them in order from the longest to the shortest. So let's see here. I need to put my paper down so we can see these 3 pencils. So when you look at these 3 pencils on my table here, you can see I don't really have them lined up in order. They're 3 different pencils, but if I want to measure them, they all have to start at the same spot. So I'm going to take this one, and this one, and this one, and line them up so that the erasers are all starting at the same spot. Then I can look across and see which one goes out the farthest to see which is the longest. So when I look across, I can see that my yellowish pencil stops first, my green pencil stops next, and my heart pencil goes out the longest. So if I'm going to put them on my paper, I would look up top here for longest. I line it up right there. And then my medium one, my one that was in the middle, and my shortest pencil, so that they are all lined up at the same spot, and then they can go out and we can see which one is the longest and which one is the shortest. If you want to find 3 things from around your house and line them up on your math paper, longest, medium, shortest. Oh, don't start math. You can do that. Or you can just go ahead and draw a picture of 3 things on there, but you have to make sure the longest thing is the longest and the shortest thing is the shortest. Don't make them all the same size. Okay, so you can pause the video while you go ahead and do that, or you can go back and do it at the end. But I'm going to keep going on the inside here when we open up. This is pretty easy, and I think you're going to be able to do it by yourself. In each box, it's going to show us 3 different things. It wants us to draw a line from the word longest, starts with an L, to whichever object is the longest. And then draw a line from the word shortest, starts with SH, to whichever object is the shortest. So down below, same thing with the paintbrushes. Draw a line from the word longest to the longest paintbrush. Draw a line from the word shortest to the shortest paintbrush. Over on the other side, the highlighters or the markers and the pencils, longest and shortest. Down at the bottom, they want you to follow the color code. The shortest crown is orange. So you're going to get your orange and color it orange. The blue crown is longer than the green crown, so then we have blue. Blue and green, and you need to decide that the blue one is the longest crown and the green one would be the medium crown, okay? You can do that on your own also. On the back, Tomas painted the longest line. Which color line did he paint? So you're looking at them. Which one is the longest? Blue, yellow, or red? You're going to write the answer on the line. Amber has the shortest piece of chalk. What color is her piece of chalk? So you're looking at pink, blue, and purple, whichever one is the shortest. And if you don't want to write the word, you can just circle the one that is the shortest. Then we look at the pens, blue, green, and red. And we need to find the sentence that tells us about those pens. So the blue pen is the longest. Well, when I look up here, is the blue pen the longest? The red pen is the longest. Is the red pen the longest? The green pen is the longest. Is it the longest? The blue pen is the shortest. So whichever one you think was true, you can fill in. And down at the bottom, it says draw 3 lines with different lengths in order from longest to shortest. So you're going to start at the top. Longest pen, draw it, or line, I'm sorry. Then the medium size, and then the shortest one at the bottom. So make sure that they all start at the same spot, and then we can see how far they go out, longest, medium, and shortest. Good. If you need to go back and watch this again to practice your measuring or your comparing, you can go ahead. You can do most of this on your own. If you want to go back and draw on the front, that is fine also. All right, good job measuring today, and we'll do some more tomorrow.